And welcome to Connections Radio Show, where we talk about ideas that matter. Our topic today is building community and enjoying the fun of wine and spirits. We'll also be learning about culture, art, geography, and history. Because when we're on Connections Radio Show, our goal is to explore a wide range of topics that challenge us to see ourselves, our community, and the world around us, that get us thinking, get us connected, and perhaps inspired to do just a bit more or have a bit more because we've made the connection. So, welcome Erica and Sean Curran, owners of Violet Wine and Spirits, here to share about the adventure that they host in their lovely retail store. Welcome, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks. Yeah, we're super psyched to be here.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm delighted to have you here. I visited your store about a month ago and totally was intrigued and felt connected and felt inspired. Went home with orange wine, which I loved. Yes, I had never known that there was orange wine. And we'll be signing up for your Adventure Wine Club, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Yeah.
So it was great fun. Thank you for being so warm and welcoming. And I felt what anyone that would come into the store would feel, a very special introduction to wine, as well as an adventure in learning about all the different wines that you source.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, that's the goal, is that people walk in and they feel like immediately welcome and engaged as much as they want to be.
I look at every person, regardless, everyone that's of age that comes in here, I look at them as it's an opportunity for me to talk about what things that I love, like wine being one of them, because it encompasses so many different things, and we get to reflect all of that in our shop. So it's great to have people in the store, and we get excited about it.
Now, you've been doing this for about 10 years, but this has been a dream of yours for much longer.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the lead up to the shop, and we're in the fall we'll be open 4 years, but we started working on this project a long time ago, just honestly late night porch sessions, hanging out with our friend Fred, who was an original co-owner with us, who's since retired. But we were just like hanging out talking about like what we would do if we had a wine shop and what it would look like, and all the important things that we kept talking about weren't so much like the products that we would carry, which was a huge part, but it was like, how would it feel when you came in, what the space would look like, how would we make people feel comfortable and warm and welcome, versus, like your standard sort of linoleum floors.
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, the cold environment where you're just going row by row, going, I don't know what I want. What has a pretty label? Is unfortunately what I end up doing.
Yeah, there's where we're sitting right now. We purposefully put this in the shop, these seats by the window. I think it reflected, part of it was reflecting the hospitality of all these little producers that we had visited in all of our times in travel for because we all worked in the important distribution wine business before this, and going to Italy or Germany or Spain, you're welcomed warmly, and wine's supposed to be fun, and we wanted to reflect that and have that in our shop. So I think that, would you agree?
Yeah, just like a sense of belonging,
hospitality
and hospitality. Yeah, like we also, Sean and I both have a really long background in restaurants, over 20 years each. And I think that was always our favorite part of working in restaurants, was creating an experience and taking care of people and hosting.
Yeah, agreed.
And you're also in a fun part of town.
Yes, yeah.
It's great. Like, the neighborhood is amazing, and the hospitality aspect. Lately, because we've been around long enough and we're starting to get enough regulars, or quite a few regulars rather, when we have our free Friday night tastings, I said to Erica just a couple of weeks ago, I feel like we're just hosting a party. Like
your neighborhood party in Northeast Minneapolis.
Oh yeah, there's all these people that they now know each other, and they bring their dogs, and there's kids here, and we're giving out suckers, and people are up at the tasting bar. It looks like a wine bar. It's not. it's a tasting bar, but like it's definitely turned into, we feel like we're hosting a party. It's game on Friday nights.
Yeah. And being in Northeast was super important for us too, and we feel really lucky that we were able to find a spot in Northeast. There's not a lot of places that where you can do this sort of thing left right in the heart of the city, and we lived in Northeast forever and ever, and
there's an interesting story about how you got into that place. I'd love to have you share that.
Yeah, well, so it was during COVID, and everything was weird and everybody was pivoting, and a woman that I had worked with in a restaurant messaged me and was like, hey, like she had moved into doing sort of commercial real estate, and was like, I know this spot and they think they'd like to have a wine shop in it, and I thought of you. And so we came and looked at the space, and at the time it was huge. It was like over double what we ended up with. And but we talked, and it just kept
We
snowballing.
called Fred.
Yeah, we called Fred, and it just kept going.
And then
kept waiting for somebody to say at some point, like, no, you can't do this. It's not gonna work. And
yeah,
here we are.
yeah.
Nice to keep getting yeses.
Yes.
And when you were thinking about it, you thought not only about the wine, as you said, but the geography, the
Yeah.
culture, it's almost the humanities of the wine and spirit. And tell me more about that and your passion for that.
I mean, I have an art background, and so art has always played a huge part in both of our lives. So that was definitely, and also of course being in Northeast, it was important for us to be able to incorporate that. The travel that we've done and the people that we've met, and the amazing way that you really can connect wine and spirits to the place once you've been there. We wanted to try to make that same connection for other people. Like, we've been really fortunate to be able to travel a lot, and I started making maps for Sean when he was a wine rep, just to help illustrate that. And that's just like literally blown up. Now I'm making these huge table size maps where we can sort of put the bottles on there and talk about, like, really get a sense of like, this is where this is from and this is where this is from. And
I think that's like how that idea came about, is like some people are better at geography than others, right? And I think like we believe that wine is, somebody had said this once, wine's supposed to be as fun to talk about as it is to drink, right? And trying to demystify it. And I think that one of the idea we came to is one of the ways to make everyone more at ease and lower the pretentiousness level or whatever, is to be able to know more about and like know where a wine is from. So we came up with this late night spitballing session after work, and like, what if we had a map, a table size map that we made, and then we put the bottles on the place where they're from in, let's say, Burgundy or California or whatever, and we can just taste through the wines, and that way people can see where the wine is from and taste the wine and kind of cement it, and also make it fun and make it, like fun to talk about and unpretentious. That's kind of what we do now. And now our customers expect it. So they're like, when's the next one coming up? Like, we've got we're going to do the Rosés of Provence at the end of July. The little ones like that, like these map series, as we call them, we cap it at 24 people, and regulars are already signing up for it, and we haven't even had the tickets go live. So like the next one in July for Rosé is like a third sold out already, but we're going to be doing another one in the fall for Burgundy, which is like the Mount Everest of the wine world. Like, it's pretentious as all get out from a perception standpoint. It's expensive. How do we demystify that? Like, it's just hooch, man. We're going to sit around, we're going to taste some wine, look at a map, and learn something together, if that makes sense.
It absolutely makes sense, and it's playful. I love that it's both demystifying so that you don't feel uncomfortable to ask a question, or I'm going to look silly if I ask that, or uh, I don't even know what to ask, and so I'm just going to be quiet and listen. I mean, you really get people engaged and asking what they're interested in, and
Mhm.
you do take them on like this little wine adventure to learn about
Yeah.
what they're drinking and why it's interesting.
Mhm. Yeah. And there's so many different ways to talk about wine too, like that it doesn't always have to be. I mean, one of the great things has been like exploring everybody's different personalities here between like Sean and I, and like we have a couple of employees, um, and just the way, like one of my favorite things in the world is someone comes in and is like, I need a wine for sitting on the couch and rewatching Gilmore Girls. And I'm like, okay, I got it. Like, let's,
Yeah.
it's like my favorite thing ever, it can be as technical as you want, or it can be as, as lighthearted. And, that's been really fun to explore.
So when people come in and they're like, I'm going to be having some people over and I don't know much about wine, but I want to make sure it's goes with what I'm making because these folks know more about wine than I do. Kind of help prep them for that too.
Yeah, for sure. Prep them for that. Um, you know, create a sense of them being able to just come in, say, I'm making this, or I don't know what I'm making, or, like, this is who I'm having. I want everybody to be happy, like, and guide them through that.
Yeah.
And people also come in and ask for vacation advice, I understand too.
Sometimes they don't ask for it. Sometimes we just overhear them and say, "You're going to Rome," and or whatever. I'm kind of kidding. We're not
Uh,
like nosy, but yeah, we have quite a few regulars now, and like they're. I recently just set up a visit in Burgundy for some of our regulars. Like, got excited and hooked them up with a producer that we work with. We were in Italy last year and went to this phenomenal restaurant uh, in Fiumicino, where the airport is. But there's this cute little town, and we found out one of our customers was going to be going to Rome, and she was asking for recommendations, and we gave her some, and she came back and was just lit up like a Christmas tree. So happy with the recommendation, and which I was relieved. Like, had she not liked it, I would have felt really silly, but I felt pretty confident that she would. So, yeah, it's like that's part of, okay, that's back to the interweaving thing, like history, travel, food, wine, they all cross over, art, etc. And there's a lot of ways to approach it, and it's supposed to be fun. So, that's all
I,
fun.
I have a question for you in terms of when you were envisioning this, when you're on your porch, when you're having your late night talks, when you were creating the vision of what you wanted to create. Uh, did you have a sense that this is what you've created is an accurate uh, embodiment of what you wanted, or did it shift a bit while you were creating it?
I think, in my opinion, it kind of grew, it
Uh-huh.
expanded. I don't know that it shifted really. I could be wrong, but
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that we had a very solid idea of who and how we wanted to be, and if anything, it's grown. Like we've
yeah,
just been able to like expound on it.
It's gotten
Yeah.
it's taken that level and gone even deeper with your discovery.
Yes.
Because it seems like you're on a discovery path along with people coming in. You have folks that ask for certain types of wine that you help get that, and they're kind of curating with you. It's like it's community is what it feels to me,
Yeah.
that you have created a sense where people can be a part of it, which is an interesting concept.
It's even more than honestly than I expected.
yeah. I was
I
just
mean,
gonna say,
it's been really beautiful and humbling to like how it turned out that we've ended up playing a part in people's lives in a way that we just didn't really expect. Like
yeah,
we've been part of, like people celebrating their engagements and weddings, and end of life, ceremonies and celebrations, when they get a new dog, when they have a baby, like it's just
Graduate from law school.
Yeah, graduate from law school, like,
Yeah.
and to really feel a part of this community, and and like we go to the farmers market and we're like, hi, like meeting people's families, and I don't know, it's been really cool.
It's been really interesting to me too. This is part of that, and like finding out what our customers' tastes are, and being on this journey together. Like we, of course, had ideas about what we were going to have as for the wine and spirits when we opened, and then to see what was embraced and what people were curious about that we didn't have a lot of, and like Transylvanian wine, Armenian wine, Georgian wine, etc. Like there's boundless curiosity, which we didn't realize when we opened. And like, oh, California, well, we've got some of that, but I want to know, I read about blah, 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 or I'm going to Romania. Do you have any Romanian wines? And like, we can get some right now. We don't have any. And to me, that's like, we're doing this together. I think that's where our customers help curate the store, because we do, plus we have a short attention span. So we're, oh yeah, I've never heard of that. Let's check that out. And like we do this, in a sense, we're doing it together, and it's fun. Like we're boundless.
And it sounds like it sort of surprised you too, that you didn't know that folks are going to be wanting Armenian wine, but it was like your game. Sure, we'll take a look at that.
I mean, like pleasantly surprised. Everything we hoped for, but yeah, pleasantly surprised for sure.
It's also an opportunity. Like one of the things that personally I love about wine is like I have $1,000 or $2,000 worth of books, and I've tasted thousands and thousands of wines over my 30 years in the business, but I still know that with every vintage I know nothing. It's starting all over again. But then to find out that there's a whole country's worth of wine that I've never even had a chance to work with or taste or whatever, it's me learning too at the same time. And that's where I get really excited, is this is an opportunity. That's kind of with the map series, like Burgundy. I've read about Burgundy. I tasted Burgundy. Burgundy's expensive, but like this is an opportunity for us to learn more about it and do a deep dive, and at the same time learning it with people and or teaching. It's, to me, that's like this golden opportunity. Like the curiosity aspect of it is it's part of the reason I love it, and I love the store. Our customers are curious. We get to be curious together. It's fun.
And there's one other aspect that I think is important is the sustainability and the producers that you work and source from. Tell me a little bit about that too.
Well, that was like one of the primary tenets of opening the store.
Yeah. There's a whole world of wine out there that exists that where people are trying really hard to, like we sort of describe it as like environmentally, like earth forward, and there's so many different levels to that. There's a lot of commercially made wine that isn't, and it's hard to know and wade through that. And we've worked with so many amazing producers, and we just knew that was like a total feasible thing to do, to create a shop that was filled with people who are like environmentally forward thinking. And that ended up tying into the shop, every aspect of it.
Yeah.
The shelves were, I mean, like I'm a huge thrifter and reuser. So the shelves ended up being from a tear down of a shop in Uptown. They, were probably just going to get dumped, scrapped. All the tables, the rugs, were all thrifted, side of the road, marketplace.
All the light fixtures besides the track lighting are from former Eastern Bloc country factories that are rewired. Somebody here in Northeast has a shop, and that's what they do, and they rewire them to American standards, and that's what all the fixtures are, if you can see behind Erica's head.
People come in all the time. They're like, I'm looking for an organic wine, or I'm looking for, like I've struggled with, like reactions, or I'm, that kind of thing. And it, we're able to say, well, you're in the right place because,
Yeah.
almost every single thing on our shelves is from people who are, using minimal to no pesticides and, just making wine in a very natural, organic way.
Same thing with the spirits.
Yeah.
Like small producer, conscientious, sustainably made, etc. And yeah, it's kind of seeped into everything.
Well, it's an adventure going to your store, and I commit to coming more often because it is great fun. I do have to close this off for our first segment here, but I do want to say that Violet Wine and Spirits is sourced from hardworking families who work sustainably and ethically, many from off the beaten path around the world. Visit Violet at 2435 Marshall Street, Northeast Minneapolis, and join in the journey of heart, warmth, and delicious wine and spirits. And visit their website at violetwinempls.com. And we'll be right back after a few short announcements, and we'll learn more about some of the education that you provide and events that you offer. Welcome back to Connections Radio Show, where we talk about ideas that matter. I'm Laurie Fitz, and our topic today is building community and enjoying the fun of wine and spirits, while also learning about culture, art, geography, and history. And we have Erica and Sean Curran, owners of Violet Wine and Spirits, here to share about the adventures that they host. One thing first, welcome. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for sharing in our first segment. If you all have missed the first segment, you can go back to am950radio.com and listen to our podcast version. But getting into this next segment, I just loved the beginning of your about your shop on your website. And you listed your journey begins here. We're a liquor store, but we also are much more. Friendly, helpful service with a curated selection of things from all over the world. The selections come from producers who care about our world. Everything in our store has been tasted by at least one of us, if not by everyone. We put heart, soul, and value on our shelves. We like helping guests. So, Erica and Sean, tell me about that.
About helping guests.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, it's a special opportunity, I feel like, to be able to connect with people, especially in a world where sometimes connections are hard, and to have a topic at hand, and help them find just the right wine for dinner, or for hanging out in the backyard with friends, or they had this amazing cocktail in a restaurant, they want to try to recreate it, or just all sorts of different opportunities to connect with them in their lives
and where they're at in their lives too.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
What's the intersection? I love both intersection and connection happening. It's like a big Venn diagram of party and fun and adventure and discovery. Another thing on your website that I liked was talking about bubbly. Tell me a little bit more about bubbly.
Well, we love bubbly here at Violet Wine. It's definitely like my favorite category of wine. I think a lot of people think of it as just a celebratory thing, which is great. Like, we have a ton of champagne that is amazing for those like celebrating moments, but also it can just be like an everyday thing too. It's beautiful for pairing with food. Sparkling wine and potato chips or French fries is like the best thing ever.
So don't save it just for that celebration. Enjoy it.
It's a legitimate, perfect pairing.
And there's so many different forms of it too. I mean, there's, sparkling red wines if you want something, like that's a little bit more like deep and intense. There's pet nats, which, has been sort of it's a really, really old way of making wine, but like everything, history repeats itself and things come full circle again.
What's old is new again.
What's old is new again. And so that's been really fun to explore and teach people about.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, I mean, so it's PetNat is sort of the shortened version of Petiat Natural. It was just a really fancy term for just saying that like second fermentation happens in the bottle. And they're usually
naturally occurring bubbles.
Yeah, naturally occurring bubbles. They're usually unfiltered, so they have like a lot of texture and sometimes a little bit of sediment, but that kind of adds to like the feel in your mouth. It can feel really like lush and full and round. There's all sorts of different forms of it, but they're fun. Like they're lighthearted,
yes.
basically.
They're bubbly.
They're bubbly, yes.
Literally, yeah.
Who cannot love bubbly?
Yeah.
So tell me also, you help with mixers and cocktails and aperitifs. Tell me a little bit about those too.
That was one of the things that we used when you brought up aperitifs, and along with that is digestif and amaro, and then mixers as well. That was one of the things that we all agreed on when we were opening, is that we wanted to have a lot of vermouth and amaro and small producers for wine. But like as far as the liquor and spirits and mixers go, that was definitely in the plan.
Yeah.
We figured it out, some of it as we went, but yeah, we have back to the cocktail experience person.
We have like an ever sort of shifting and evolving spirit selection. We don't have a ton of space for it. And there's like said with short attention spans, because we're always finding cool new things and we're like, okay, let's get this. And like, ooh, this is really cool.
And we don't have room to keep everything.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You lose out on some things.
But there are, again, like so many cool, like different bitters, and we have, local like mixers, that are made by people just right here in the Twin Cities. We've got local Amaro. We've got Amaro from all over the world.
We've got local spirits like whiskey and gin and
the whole range for your cocktail.
Well, and also included in that, correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the mixologist, non-alcoholic, like for mixers. Like one of the things that's come up a lot, fortuitous for us, because we love vermouth, and aperitivo, right, as you mentioned, but low-proof cocktails have become more and more of a thing, as is lower-proof, low-alcohol reds and white wines. But like to make a lower-proof cocktail, you might have a vermouth and an NA, like a soda of some sort, and do, right, or a non-alcoholic bubbles, and then you have a low-proof cocktail. So we have a good amount of non-alcoholic stuff as well, for just straight up not drinking, but they work for low-proof cocktails as well.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, totally. Okay. I mean, we're at the point where like we share a cocktail. I know we're not like alone in that, but to be able to have, all of those different options for everybody available, for sure.
And you mentioned that you've got sources here in the Twin Cities of folks that supply you. You also mentioned you had shortest attention span. So how do you go out and find all these different folks?
Well, a lot of it started with relationships we had before we opened the store. For instance, there's a distillery in St. Louis Park that we were all aware of. Small family-owned place, Danfork. I'll give them a shout out because they make great all kinds of stuff: single malt whiskey, gins, barrel-aged gins, liqueurs, liqueur from a 400-year-old recipe. Some of these people we knew before we started the shop, and then once we got going, we became a target for all these. Like, hey, we're local too. Like, we carry prized beer. They're right across the river from us, etc. So people have sought us out, or we've heard about it. We do occasionally get out when we're not working, so we try to try different stuff and go different places. And we have business cards and hand them out, like, hey, we're a local shop. We'd love to carry your stuff, that type of thing. So there's multiple ways that things get sourced. Plus, we have a lot of really, like, all of our people, our salespeople that are calling us, our vendors, I think at this point, they all have a really good sense of the store. So they're apt to bring stuff like, oh, we just picked up this new spirit from somebody in Lino Lakes or something, and I thought we should bring it by because it seemed like a good fit for your store, and so they're looking out for us too. And so there's multiple avenues. Is that?
Yeah, and it's been like a really like that leads into a lot of our events too. Like we do a lot of wine focused events, but we do a lot of spirit focused events too. Like we've had an Amaro class where you got to taste, I think it was 7 different Amaros. And then I also brought in the ingredients and made an Amaro at the same time and sent people home with, some of the ingredients so they could make their own Amaro at home. We've done, like an Irish cream making class, just, cocktail classes with, local spirit producers. Constantly hunt for new fun things to do here.
And you also connect with artists. I love that you've got, art and wine.
Yes.
Tell me about the art and wine series that you do.
Art and Wine is run by one of our employees who's been with us since the very beginning, Jen. She's amazing. She is also a local artist and had this idea, again, to like continue the idea of like community and how all of this is integrated. So she hosts different art and wine events where you can come in and take an art class from her, basically. We've done collages, mobiles, little bookmaking classes. Most recently, we just hosted sort of just an open space where you could come in and she had supplies available, and you could either watercolor or craft or bring in your own things, and at the same time taste some different wines and learn a little bit about wine and just have that sort of that third space to be in.
And we have a newsletter, and I'm not just pitching us, but like just speaking to what was just said, like we too have internet and phones and don't like being spammed. Like you get barraged daily with, I think it's 15 to 20 junk emails I get per day, right? So the last thing we want to do is make our newsletter be something that we just barrage people with. So we try to keep it relevant and pertinent, and like people, our regulars want to know what's going on here. So 1 or 2 times a week, we'll send out a newsletter letting, like for instance, there's Art and Wine with Jen on Sunday. It's an open space. Oh, and Friday's tasting is going to be this. And then Wine 101 on Saturday will be these 2 wines. And, we keep our customers watch for that. And we have quite the mailing list at this point, but like
it's more like getting an email from a friend about the party at your place.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, what am I doing this weekend?
Yeah.
Let me
Yes.
see. Yeah.
So also tell me, in our last segment, we chatted a little bit about the maps and learning about, where a wine may be from and how to create art around that with a map, as well as getting to know the geography and the culture.
Mhm.
What kind of research do you do to get at the culture? Is that something that you already know? You say you have lots of books as well. How do you prepare for a class that may be delving into Burgundy, as you mentioned in the last
Well,
segment?
That's actually a really good question. I think because you're making me think about it now, but like, I think it was a natural thing. Like Erica had mentioned before in the last segment, I believe, like our combined, each of us have 20 plus years in the restaurant business. Most of mine was as a manager and wine focused. And with that came being in a restaurant and wine focused, you have to do food and wine pairings. And you spend a lot of time thinking about food that goes with wine and wine that goes with food. And plus we cook a lot at home. So we have a lot of cookbooks. You learn a lot about where food comes from when you're like, like Otto Lengi has a lot of Middle Eastern cookbooks, and like I worked at a Middle Eastern restaurant and like experimenting at home, finding out what goes with what. I think that all kind of fed into our maps and the tours through the maps via wine, and like, so you had a good solid background in food and culture. And then when I did the Côte de Beaune map and chose the wines for it, the choosing of the wines was the really fun part of it, right? Like not that none of it was, not that any of it wasn't fun, but like that was the easier part of it. The deeper dive into it was probably 8 to 10 hours of reading about the producers, reading about the history of the area, reading about what the local foods are, some of which I knew a little bit about, or sometimes more than a little bit. But every time we've done a map series, I've learned almost as much as our customers have, because it forces me to, it's game on. Like I literally, it's exciting to me. Like I'm looking forward to doing the one of Provence, because I don't know much about the history of Provence. I do know a little bit about the food, but I'll find out more, and I already am. And then how that ties in with how wine ties in with the culture and the food there. We just, that's what it's about for me, is learning so that I can teach it. I guess there's an adage about that, right? The best way to learn something is to have to teach it. Yeah, I guess that's the axiom I would use from my end of it with the map series. I'm not the artist doing the map. I'm the one dealing with the words and the speaking. So
yeah. Same, like I'm actually like, as much as I love wine and food, I'm terrible at geography. So doing the maps is a way of helping me really truly like learning that area better and its sense of place in relation to other areas and connection. And true, like learning, starting from there and then diving deeper into the history of all of these things, finding out the most fascinating things. You know, like, why is this grape not planted here anymore? Oh, it's because this king 200 years ago was like, I mean, it's just that you find out the most fascinating little like random tidbits about
like the
history.
Romans had transported wine in amphora and never anything else until they ran into the Celts, and the Celts had come up with oak barrels, and that's how they transported wine. And that's how oak barrels got to be a thing in the wine world. Was 2,000 years ago, the Romans met the Celts and they were transporting wine in wood barrels. To me, that was completely crazy. But
what I normally ask folks is if you've had any aha moments, but as you share your story, it seems like each day is an aha moment that leads to the next. There isn't one aha moment that guides you. It's allowing for all the aha moments to occur throughout your day and throughout your planning for your various events and activities.
That's part of the reason we wanted to do this, and part of the reason we continue to do it. A big part of it is like just the light bulb comes on pretty often, and you're lucky if you have that on a regular basis. Like, it's not drudgery, it's enlightening. I don't know.
Something else that I really was moved by on your website was, and we hope that they all make a difference. Food and drink help us connect and create community. And then you have your invitation. Come on and check our vibe. We hope you feel happy when you walk into our shop. So I know I did. I know I felt happy when I sat down at that very table that you're at right now. But tell me a little bit more about your big hope of making a difference. What does that mean to you?
Well,
that's a big question.
I mean, making a difference to me, one of the ways, like the biggest way, was the sustainability and the small producer aspect of it. I think more and more it seems like there's monopolies in every business, and wine and spirits seems to be a place where you can still thrive as a small individual business, like family owned, etc., and be sustainable, and like to support those people in their endeavors, and have the opportunity to show people that can happen. To me, that is making a difference. Like, it's not some generic company that cranks out 250 million cases a year. It's this guy who makes 200 cases from Mount Etna, and I don't know how in God's name it made it to Minnesota, but we have a bottle by this guy or 2 bottles by this guy. Like, literally, there's somebody who makes 150 cases of wine, and we get a couple cases of that a year here in Minnesota. That guy literally picks the grapes by himself, uses no chemicals at all, naturally makes the wine, and we're supporting him. So that's making a difference in that guy's life, you know.
And knowing that story. I think that story is so important as you're drinking the wine. You know, you
Yes.
can
Yeah.
you can think about that individual and the care he took to bring me this glass of wine now that I'm enjoying.
100%. And in the meantime, doing no harm to the environment. In fact, a lot of them have regenerative agriculture, so they're helping revive the area that they're in through commerce, through environmentalism, et cetera. And so, like, we get to be a small part of that and hopefully help that grow, I guess.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And making those connections. I mean, it's just like, it's like circles upon circles upon circles of connections, like we're connecting with people in the community and bringing them together here. Hopefully, like, people have made new friends.
Yes.
Here, hanging
that is because so awesome to see.
Yeah.
Too.
Like they see each other at the tastings multiple times. And then all of a sudden now it's like, oh, hey, how are you doing? And then they're having our friend's wine who is in France, and like, it's just.
I can't wait for the day when two of our customers who have met here get married.
Oh, that.
I mean, literally, that's like one of the things I look forward to. Like, I hope we can make it to that point.
Well, if not, at least maybe making renewals of their marriage vows. How about that?
I'll take anything, but yeah.
We'll go there first, and then if we can find, I'll support you by seeing if I can send some matchmaking couples to you to see what you can do on your education.
It's got to be.
Thank you for sharing all that you do. We're gonna need to go to a break again, but I just want to say that your Violet Wine and Spirits is a place to engage in conversation, to have fun. It's about learning, and it's about something more. It's about making that difference. So you can visit Violet at 2435 Marshall Street, Northeast Minneapolis, and you can check out their website where you can sign up for that email. Which is a newsletter, but it's more like an email from a friend at violetwinempls.com. And we'll be right back. Welcome back to Connections Radio Show, where we talk about ideas that matter. I'm Laurie Fitz. And our topic today is building community and enjoying the fun of wine and spirits while also learning about culture, art, geography, and history. And we have Erica and Sean Curran, owners of Violet Wine and Spirits, to share about all of their adventures in hosting the cultural celebration, the wine celebration, the fun of community together. Welcome, you two.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, it's just been a joy. I so loved, as I mentioned in the other segments, coming into your store and the vibe, as you call it, that you create in the community. I also wanted to have us talk more about your wine club and how people can participate with that.
Yeah. So we have a quarterly wine club. It's really great because it's an opportunity to not only support a lot of these small producers that we're talking about, but also support us, because it really, it's like a CSA, basically. So
a continuing education class.
Continuing education CSA, where you sign up for a quarterly club, and you can pick either 3 bottles of wine for $60 or 3 bottles of wine for $90, and then we have either adventurous or traditional. And then Sean and I, we curate all the wines. It's a great opportunity to to find really, cool special things.
We spend the 3 months
in between each one. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like really like digging through and finding some really cool stuff. And then we have a release party, and you get to come and try all the wines. You get first pick before any of the extras go on the shelves. We have some snacks.
And you pay for the 3 bottles that you've chosen.
Yeah, you pay for your 3 bottles that you've picked up, and you also get 10% off of all wine all the time as a club member.
If it's not already discounted.
If it's not already discounted.
Yeah.
So you say you have this quarterly.
Quarterly, yes. And the next one's up on July 16th.
July 16th. I'm going to mark that on my calendar.
Yep, so there's still time to sign up for the July club.
For the July 16th, what time do you have people come through your door?
It's from 5 to 7.
Yep. And it's gotten big enough now that our regulars who've done this for a while, show up right at 5 o'clock because we have enough people because we're pouring 12 wines. And
It can be quite the party.
yeah, I mean, you can't get that many free samples to pour. So sometimes we're bringing in stuff that's really small production or rare. We are only able to get a case or two of, and we only have one bottle to pour for potentially 170 people. So it's not going to make, one bottle is not going to make it all the way through 170 people. So the regulars show up right at 5 o'clock to make sure they get a chance to taste everything. And it's a blast. We have regular customers that are wine club members. Like, is it okay if I bring a friend? And other people make it, that's part of their night out. The spot we're sitting in, we'll have 4 or 5 people sitting here, snacking, taking their time, tasting all 12 wines. They're chatting with each other. They're talking to their friends, and they're making a night of it. But yeah, it's.
When you have the adventure crew and then you have the traditional crew and you're serving both, okay, here's the adventure club over here and here's the conservative group over there.
Yeah. Well, conservative, just, classic.
Okay, classic.
Well, it is called traditional.
It is called traditional, yeah.
But we won't go to conservative. We'll go to traditional, and
the adventurous, is just, you're open to anything. You want to try all the new things. You want to try orange wine. Like you had recently. You want to try Pet Nat, like we talked about earlier. You want to try a wine from Georgia, all of those things.
Well, I definitely am going to be there, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'll see if I can bring some friends as well, because it's a party, but it's also an adventure. And I think that, and it's a learning opportunity. And like you said, it's like when you sign up for getting your organic good food from farmers, instead you're signing up to enjoy your wine from locally, or at least ethically and worldwide produced interesting wine.
Yes.
Well, in the event too, Laurie, did you decide that the Adventurous Club is not for you? You get your 3 bottles in July. You're like, I think maybe I'm more of a traditional kind of person. You can just switch it. Just let us know that you want to. It's easy enough. We just need to know. That's all.
Well, I also want to thank you for being sponsors of AM 950. And we're sponsoring us at Twin Cities Pride and the support you do year round for LGBTQ community. And I wanted to give you an opportunity just to share why that's important to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, as Sean put it, one, because we're human, and it's important that we support everybody in the community. But Pride is an especially, I think, joyous month for us, for the community, but for us personally, we have family
and
friends in the LGBTQ community, and it's just a really important thing. It's a beautiful part of Minneapolis, and we are happy to support it all the time, but especially during Pride Month.
And a shout out to Twin Cities Pride. We will be there June 27th and 28th, and we'll be having live radio. You also are going to come down and volunteer on Sunday, the 28th. Down in Loring Park from 10:30 to 11:30. So folks can come down and visit you there as well, along with supporting Pride, which is something that AM 950 has been doing for over 18 years, being at Pride. And we've continually and will continue to support Pride and the LGBTQ community. So thank you for doing all that you do. I want to do another shout out that you can visit your Violet at 2435 Marshall Street, Northeast Minneapolis. And you can join in the journey of heart warmth and delicious wine and spirits and learn more at violetwinempls.com. A great website to go to. Any other quick shout outs that you all would like to make?
We love you, Northeast.
Enjoy Pride, Twin Cities.
We love Pride. We love Twin Cities Northeast. We love that you're partnering in the community with artists, with locally sourced and ethically grown wonderful wine and spirits. So thank you for all that you do. And thank you for being part of Connections Radio Show, where we talk about ideas that matter and we celebrate community.
It was our pleasure.
Thank you so much.